Hello everybody, this is your anime analyst speaking. 2019. You know, with all the technology, we would have hoped that it would improve our lives. Instead, for some of us, it's become a total asshat. And we would have thought that World War III would have come and gone by now, given the weapons and technology.
You said technology twice.
Oh yeah, I did. I mean...
I'm very glad that World War III didn't happen. Because if it did, Japan would be toast, and even worse.
No anime?
Well, yeah, that too. But also no Anima Addicts, and, also a dystopian cyberpunk society could happen.
Wow. I never thought of it that far.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, who knows what the future has in store for us?
But in the anime biz, they showed us varied forms of the future, from dystopias like Fist of the North Star to utopian ones like Astro Boy. Though that happened in 2003, so yeah, some versions are not likely.
Speaking of which, this will not happen. And yes, we are reviewing the big one, AKIRA. Or as I'd like to call it, AKIRA!
Please don't do that again.
I'll maybe stop in the next episode. Anyway, let's jump to the plot, shall we?
Set in a dystopian 2019, AKIRA tells the story of Shotaro Kaneda, a leader of a local biker gang.
And no, his name is not AKIRA. It's Kaneda, not AKIRA.
Pretty much.
Anyways, Kaneda's childhood friend, Tetsuo Shima, acquires incredible telepathic abilities after a motorcycle accident, and after being experimented on, eventually threatening an entire military complex amidst chaos and rebellion in the sprawling futuristic metropolis of Neo-Tokyo.
We start this classic with some alternate history that leads to a tavern/bar/cesspool with arcade games. Then the gangs starts to run amok. And while that's going on, a riot ensues. And we get a focus on this little guy. Oh boy, it's the Scissor Man from Clock Tower. Better run for it!
Then the aforementioned accident happens, and the next thing you know, the gang is captured, Tetsuo is missing, and the purple boss baby captures Scissor Man.
Yeah, that's pretty much accurate. Yeah.
Indeed. And since we're telling a story here, we should warn you about spoilers. And further spoilers.
That's of course, if you want to see the movie for yourself, that is.
When the characters get detained, one of the captives pulls out a grenade, like so. Then this happens.
Nah! That doesn't happen. Not until later. Instead, this happens.
Anyway, they're free to go, plus another character.
Yo, Andrew. So, you got any time for the Zach man?
Get real.
Then, after losing her, then the grenade exploded.
You've been duped. This is nothing but a harmless Christmas package.
Now they do meet again, but they have to go through the following. Some scenes with the lab, mentioning of AKIRA, and some school scenes that give Cromartie higher run for its money, and lots of chaotic stuff happens. Then Kaneda meets with the girl. Again.
Back at the lab, we see a little girl named 25 who dreams about something dangerous. Also more lab stuff, and Kaneda finds some of the girl's friends, and their paths intertwine.
We get more chaos and a meeting talking about the state of the Neo Tokyo, including the budget problem.
The Olympics are next year, and the post-war period is over. How much longer will you keep throwing away countless amounts of money on these worthless ghosts?
2020 Olympics? Yeah, I'm sure Japan has the budget for that. You'll be fine.
After the meeting, we turn to Tetsuo Shima displaying his powers some more.
Then the rebels infiltrate the HQ like Bruce Lee.
Then back to Tetsuo. He's hallucinating, and apparently Akira predicted Five Nights at Freddy's. Luckily they have a weakness, the sight of blood. Then he escapes. Back with the rebels, they enter a sewer and encounter a few speed flyers from Star Wars?
Now, after Kaneda figures out how to ride that crazy thing, Tetsuo escapes to a fantasy castle setting later.
Give it 6 months and we could be getting this.
It is revealed that the giant toy monsters are the kids, with psychic powers in fluffy mech suits. Then conflict ensues, and this happens.
I got a speeder. I'm not afraid to use it. I'm an analyst on the edge.
Later, both Kaneda and Tetsuo meet once again, and Tetsuo goes Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs while in the search for AKIRA.
After Tetsuo leaves, the three little Yodas reveal that Tetsuo is heading to the Olympic construction site. So it's a race against time to stop Tetsuo in finding AKIRA.
After a few fatal bar scenes, we get the question many of us are wondering. Who is AKIRA?
Who is Batman?
I asked Ryu one time. He told me that Akira is ultimate energy.
Ultimate energy?
Ultimate energy? Isn't that it?
Hang on, she's about to elaborate.
Goody.
Humans do all kinds of things during their lifetime, right? Discovering things, building things. Things like houses, high-speed trains, motorcycles, bridges in cities, rockets.
Etc., etc., etc.
And what if everyone shares those ancient memories? What if there were some mistakes in the progression? Then something goes wrong, like an amoeba is suddenly given the higher powers that a human has.
Akira is an amoeba then?
Amoebas don't build their own houses and bridges, do they?
It would be cool, though, if AKIRA was an amoeba that built stuff, while wielding the ultimate power. But that's not the case.
As our main characters escape, the search for Tetsuo continues.
Then Kaneda meets up with one of his friends, and bad news is delivered. Then Kaneda does this.
Nah! Got off before the crash. Basically, he destroyed the bike so that his friend that had died can ride it to heaven.
How very pagan of him.
Well, people in Japan believe that everything...
I know what you're talking about.
But the viewers might not.
I don't think they care about...
They believe that everything has a soul, even items. And if you've seen Coco, even food have souls as well. I guess you could say it's soul food.
Then we get Jesus taking one of the characters away.
Then we cut to the government being overthrown, and isn't that typical? They try to run away with the money. There's no point burning those documents. They will be in the afterlife with you. In hell!
So this is what happens when the world implodes. More chaos ensues, and we are introduced to this.
Cut past the chaos, and we see our main character who rides off on his iconic vehicle in order to save the day.
So after an hour and a half long of this movie, we finally see this revealed.
And more revelations, like AKIRA being dead and him being a test subject the whole time. And here's a clip of what it looks like. There, I hope you're happy.
Honestly? Yeah. I mean, I'm not disappointed. But we finally know who AKIRA is. As well as he or it is. So yeah, it appears to be a jar of bits, and it's considered more than that.
Then we get a fight scene between Kaneda and Tetsuo, and more disaster strikes.
Turns out the Death Star has been implemented and takes a pot shot on Tetsuo, blowing his arm off. But he gets a new one after he deals with them. After a few scenes from the military and Kaneda later, what becomes of the Olympics? Well, let's just say it might be a tiny delay.
Then we get mutations, round 2 with Kaneda and Tetsuo, then the iconic implosion mutation of Tetsuo. And the big one, the summoning of AKIRA. And this is what happens when the world implodes.
And so, all the revelation and memories, Kaneda and Kei and everyone else we've forgot to mention survives, and I guess a new world has now begun.
And thus, a new nation was born. Kaneda. Roll the anthem! O Kaneda, O Kaneda, we stand on guard for thee.
And with that, they drive off. The end. What a boring as batshit anime. But it does raise a few questions, though.
Go on.
Why must we mess with Mother Nature? Are we so hell-bent on evolving at an elevated pace?
Messing? Or just exploring the realm of existence? Anyway, what did I think about this anime? Okay, so the post-apocalyptic genre, it's not really my thing. That said, there are some good stuff about this that I like.
The animation is very fluid and alive. It's not just moving mouths and such, but other body movements, almost like a real person. And it is the best part of the movie, along with the supernatural powers, the tech, and the bright lights mixing with the gritty background.
Word of warning, the slow pacing of this anime may cause tediousness.
This story is decent enough, despite the odd ending choice. But those can be considered the mysterious powers of AKIRA.
Final verdict. I liked it, and I will give it a special seal. It is recommended for anime fans, but if you're like the analyst, you might want to sit this one out.
I agree.
The anime is a milestone in anime history. The bar was set high and inspired future anime and pop culture despite Japan taking a big slump at the time. And while technically a flop, it made lots of money worldwide. AKIRA made a worldwide impact as it was even to this day being considered one of the greatest animated movies of all time. While most of the character designs and settings were adapted from the manga, the plot differs considerably. That removes much of the last half of the manga.
Also, in the 2001 English dub, he was voiced by, you guessed it, Johnny Young Bosch.
Excellent!
Notes: avant-garde near the end, and very out there and symbolic. Hard to understand. What the fuck?
My guess? They were keeping the uncontrolled powers at bay while using the powers like telepathy and telekinesis, leaving the main character alive? But that's my take on it. I'm the Reminisce Reviewer. I reminisce so you don't miss.
And this has been your anime analyst speaking. Jeez, it's been a while since I've done this configuration.
Just like the early days.
Yeah, and one more thing. No more singing national anthems.
Not even fictitious ones?
No, not in the slightest.
Hey, at least now people know who the main character's name is. It's not AKIRA!